Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. The producer Dallas Austin did an interview with Vlad TV and he talked about the feud between Monica and Brandy. The infamous feud between Monica and Brandy is old history, but I do want to revisit it because it was a very interesting time in music. Now, in the 90s, you had three young female R&B pop stars who came on the scene, and those artists were Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica. Aaliyah was actually the first out of the three to release her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Even though Aaliyah was young, she had a cool mystique aura about her that made people want to imitate her. Also, her music was well received. Her album went double platinum in a year, and it ended up selling 3 million copies in the US alone and over 6 million copies worldwide. Aaliyah's debut was very important because she became a trailblazer for other young girls to come up after her.
When, Aaliyah opened the door for this whole new wave, rest in peace, God, this whole new wave of young girls coming out. So Back and Forth was my song, and so I watched her videos. I was performing like her, and Frank Gaston was like, I'm 15 years old. Frank Gaston was like, who do you love? I was like, I love Aaliyah. He was like, okay, perform I Want to Be Down. So I performed I Want to Be Down just like Aaliyah performed Back and Forth. He was like, no, I love Aaliyah too, but we gotta change it up so you can have your own style. You look just like her. I love you so much.
After Aaliyah dropped her debut album in 1994, Brandy dropped her self-titled debut album later on that year. Brandy was like the bubbly girl next door. Her music was sweet and innocent, and her image was very polished. Even though Brandy's debut album was a commercial success, it took a while for the album to actually pick up. The label execs didn't have much faith in Brandy as an artist, and she had to work hard to prove herself.
Going gold was a very important thing to me. I felt that I wasn't going to blow up and I wasn't going to have anything in this business because a lot of people told me that I wouldn't be anything. A lot of record companies, a lot of just executives told me I wasn't going to be anything. So I was really skeptical the first day that my album was released. They were not playing on the radio. I mean, I wasn't getting any love, but I prayed about it, and I guess it happened for me. And I want to say hi to all those people that told me I wasn't going to be anything.
Brandy proved a lot of people wrong. She became one of the most successful R&B acts of the 90s. Her debut album ended up selling over 6 million copies worldwide, and she had 4 successful singles, including Baby, Best Friend, Broken Hearted featuring Wanya Morris, and I Wanna Be Down. Not only that, Brandy also starred in her own successful sitcom, Moesha. So all the label executives who said Brandy wouldn't be anything were proven wrong. In 1995, Monica released her debut album called Miss Thing. Monica was different from Aaliyah and Brandy. She had more sass and a more mature sound. Her voice was also very strong for her age, and many people found it hard to believe that she was a young teenage girl. Monica didn't feel the pressure to conform to a girl next door image. She was encouraged by her mentor, Dallas Austin, to be herself, and that's exactly what she did. Monica was confident and sometimes blunt, and oftentimes people felt like she was too grown or she had an attitude. But no, she was just being true to herself.
Dallas is the one that signed me. And it couldn't have been anybody better to have signed me at that age because he treated me as his daughter. It was always about, listen, are you okay? Is this too much? You don't have to do this. Everything about who you are is great. Don't let them tell you different. If I'm not present to say it for you, you say it yourself. And so that outspokenness is actually why they titled the first album Miss Thing. But because of the people that were around me and the fact that I never saw the need to step outside of who I was to try and sell records, you know how many times they told me, oh, you can't say that when you interview. And Dallas would be like, yes, she can. She say what she want because there's a whole group of girls just like her that will understand exactly what she's saying.
When Monica released her first single, Don't Take It Personal, she found instant success. The single was selling so much that the label had to pull it off the shelves because they wanted the audience to not only buy her single, but to buy her album. Miss Thing was a multi-platinum selling album, and it had successful hits like Don't Take It Personal, Before You Walk Out of My Life, and Why I Love You So Much. So Monica had a lot of success, and so did Brandy and Aaliyah. However, as their popularity grew, there came a lot of comparisons. Even though these artists had completely different sounds and made different music, they were oftentimes compared to each other. All three of them were teenagers, they were black young women, and they made good R&B music. But it came to a point where people were trying to pit these three against each other, especially Brandy and Monica. At first, the media tried to stir up some tension between Brandy and Aaliyah. Allegedly, Brandy made a comment about Aaliyah's attire and said that her look was too mature and that her mother would not allow her to dress that way. Well, this was Aaliyah's response when she was asked about it.
It was one of the things, Brandy said some things that were said. Now, did you hear what she actually used?
I caught wind of some of it, but I don't pay much attention to that. I think there's room out here for all of us. So, good luck, Brandy.
Ladies are professional.
After this interview, Brandy did give Aaliyah a shout out at the Soul Train Awards just to let her know that it was all love.
I want to give a shout out to my girl Aaliyah. I love you, girl. Really, I do. I'm a big fan.
Fortunately, there was no beef between Aaliyah and Brandy. Brandy revealed to Billboard that she and Aaliyah hung out at different events, and she also said Aaliyah was very supportive of her, and she even gave her flowers and congratulated her for winning a Lady of Soul Music Award. Aaliyah's respect for Brandy was so deep that she turned down a role in the movie Scary Movie because she did not want to mock Brandy.
One time I got sent the script actually for Scary Movie, but it was a little bit different when I received it. It changed a lot by the time they made it, and it was a parody on the Scream movies. And I Know What You Did Last Summer, and they actually had a character. It was the Brandy character, and they wanted me to play Brandy and kind of do a parody of her. And I just, didn't actually like the script. I thought it was really funny, but I didn't want anybody to take like I was disrespecting her in any way. So I actually didn't do it. And it turned out to be a really funny movie. But that was like the weirdest thing that anyone had ever asked me to do.
Aaliyah had a deep respect for Brandy and Monica, and the feelings were mutual on Monica and Brandy's end. Brandy and Monica also respected each other. However, they didn't always get along, and the reason for that is people on the outside kept pitting them against each other. But in the beginning, they were cordial.
And the Soul Train Lady of Soul Award goes to Monica. The winner is I Wanna Be Down, Brandy.
Brandy and Monica's cordial relationship became tense when the industry started pitting them against each other. This is a very common practice in the music industry. When labels have two artists who cater to the same demographic, they normally try to create competition between the two. They try to seek out the same writers and producers. Even though Brandy and Monica were different, they were catering to the same audience. So it was all about who was better, who was gonna sell more records, who is gonna be the top R&B princess. That's what it was all about. Brandy did reach out to Monica to do a duet called The Boy Is Mine. The song was supposed to be a solo single by Brandy, and it was allegedly inspired by the love triangle that Brandy was involved in. Brandy was dating Wanya Morris from Boyz II Men, but Wanya cheated on Brandy with another singer named Adina Howard. So the song was allegedly inspired by that situation. Brandy thought it would be a good idea to include Monica on the song just to get people talking. It was a brilliant marketing strategy that both Brandy and Monica benefited from.
Monica and I are like two peas in a pod. We're like so cool, and since people think that Monica and I are kind of like against each other and we're enemies, we decided to do a song where it talked about, this boy is mine and you can't have him, and just we're kind of like fighting in the song. But every time she comes with a lick, I come with a lick, and we're like battling in the singing whole thing, and it's really cool. But we're friends and we're cool, and no matter what anybody says, we're gonna stay tight.
But how's the relationship at the end with Brandy? I mean, it's a working relationship. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful working relationship. I don't think that there are very many other artists that have the working relationship that we do. We're extremely friendly in the fact that we respect each other's opinions, and we basically can easily work around each other.
Brandy and Monica's friendly relationship soon turned into a rivalry, and there were several reasons why.
We didn't maintain a relationship because once the song was released, that's when all of the supposed, they don't like each other, this is that.
Right.
And then it was created to be even bigger by the skits, all of the different stuff that was happening that came with the song. But since in the song we were feuding, it basically kind of created that atmosphere, and it became almost like a real thing throughout teenage years.
While they were filming the music video, there was a little bit of tension. Monica revealed to Vibe magazine that she did have to check Brandy on set. This is what she said. "Truthfully, my first thought was, they ain't gonna put this out," she says. "There was a part in the video where we were saying, no, not yours, but mine." Brandy was ad-libbing around the situation, and at one point she put her hand to my face, playing, and it upset me. That's the kind of stuff that becomes personal with me. Not because it was Brandy, that goes for anybody. It was a miscommunication, but some miscommunications fester. I would never put my hand in anybody's face unless I was really upset. I had to say, I'm sorry, I cannot take that.
But there's a music video with both of them. Are they actually in any scenes together, or?
They had the video, and they got through the video, but it was like, video on, time, go, off, okay. Over here, they that room, on, go.
Okay.
Like no interactions, no friendships, no nothing. No, oh man, I'm glad we were here together. Oh, this is gonna be great. None of that. But Monica never liked Brandy, and Brandy never, she was like, Monica's very ghetto when it came down to it. She was like, she's too proper and she's too this. And I think Brandy might have looked at her a certain way a couple of times and looked at her like the little, And so from that point, it was just like they, even to have them do the boys' mind, Monica was like, nope, not doing no song with her. I was like, come on, you got to. It just makes the most sense. And Clive wants it, and let's just do it.
After filming the music video, Monica and Brandy did not see each other again until their performance at the MTV Video Music Awards. The media went into a frenzy when they found out that Monica and Brandy got into an altercation right before they performed on stage.
The first time they actually saw each other to do it was, I think it was American Music Awards or something. And before they could even get to the stage, Monica decked her in the face. Popped in the face backstage. And I'm like, oh my God, this is even before the performance. So everybody's trying to know how we're gonna have a performance that looked like they're not, at war with each other. But it worked out because the song was supposed to be at war with each other. So nobody could really tell that she had punched in the face before the performance.
Were you there when they got into that fight?
Yeah.
Oh, you actually saw it?
Yeah. So it was more like a hit, not a fight.
I was about to kill each other back then. I remember.
And then she would have blamed everything on me. Oh, I hate. She would have been like, she attacked me. That's how she does me.
Let's keep it 100. She probably did, right? It was probably her.
I've said I'm sorry. No, stop. No, I take this very serious. Did I not apologize to you though? As a woman, did I not apologize? You did. I meant that from my heart. Like, that's not funny. I said I'm sorry.
Monica, you put your hands on Brandy?
Sorry. Oh my God, really?
Are we doing this?
I said I was sorry.
The feud between Monica and Brandy was pretty big, but people have to remember that these two were teenage girls feeding into the beef that was created by the industry. They were forced to compete against each other. They were told they have to sing a certain way and look a certain way. Even though Brandy was widely popular, she oftentimes got criticized for not having a strong voice like Monica. And Monica was criticized for not having the perfect image that Brandy had. So that was a big part of the rift between Brandy and Monica. Also, Brandy and Monica's personalities didn't really gel too well. So it wasn't a surprise that they clashed. But their feud actually created more buzz for both of them. The Boy Is Mine was one of their biggest hits together, and it was #1 on the charts for 13 weeks. The song also helped Brandy and Monica win their first and only Grammy together. Interestingly enough, Brandy and Monica's duet inspired Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey to come together and do their own duet, When You Believe. Whitney and Mariah were also pitted against each other, and they realized that it was better for them to come together.
Later on, Whitney and Mariah did a song together. I asked Whitney, I was like, did you do that? Because she was like, girl, I had to, steal a little bit and just, so she did a song with Mariah. So I love that, that inspired her to do something with Mariah Carey, because Mariah Carey is also one of my favorite singers.
Brandy and Monica not only succeeded together, but they succeeded as solo acts. Monica's sophomore album, The Boy Is Mine, was a multi-platinum selling success. Aside from The Boy Is Mine, she had other hit songs like The First Night, Angel of Mine, and For You I Will. Angel of Mine was her most popular single on the album. It peaked to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, and it also went platinum. Monica's album overall sold over 3 million copies in the United States alone. Brandy also had a lot of success for her sophomore album, Never Say Never. She had big hits like The Boy Is Mine, Top of the World, Almost Doesn't Count, and Have You Ever. It was a commercial success in the United States and internationally. Her album was not only one of the best-selling albums of 1998, but it was also an album that inspired a whole new generation of singers, including a few new pop singers like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
Who are some of your influences?
Probably Whitney Houston, of course, and Brandy's album is incredible. I love her.
Christina Aguilera, that situation happened when Ron told me, he says, hey man, listen, I got this girl, I want you to produce her. While I was comping the vocal, and before she had to go do ad-libs, she was only listening to Mariah Carey and Brandy. She would put her Walkman on, and she would just be working on her riffs. That's all she would do.
Brandy's sound was very influential, and a lot of people studied her vocals. On top of having a very successful album, Brandy also had a very successful acting career. She starred in her own hit show, Moesha, and she also starred in 3 movies, including the horror flick I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Cinderella, which was alongside the legendary singer Whitney Houston, and Double Platinum, which was alongside another legendary singer, Diana Ross. Brandy and Monica had a lot of success in the 90s, and so did their other musical peer, Aaliyah. After their feud in the 90s, Brandy and Monica did put their differences aside, and they collaborated on another song in 2012 called It All Belongs to Me.
I picked up the phone years ago. I was turned down gracefully because Monica was trying to protect the history of The Boy Is Mine. And she didn't want, us doing a new collaboration to affect the old collaboration. So she found the song and she was like, okay, we can do it now. I'm like, yay.
It had to be something completely different than what we did in 1998.
Yeah.
As teenagers, we were both very competitive, and we didn't remember what it was like to be together, or we didn't even know what it was like to be together, rather. And it was interesting. The Boy Is Mine was an interesting run, but being together now in this day and time, and us being older and wiser and better communicators, it's just a different thing now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree in a lot of ways, because for me, I've never competed with anyone else. I was always told things that supposedly came from her or other people, and what we learned most from that is we don't allow anybody else to dictate what happens in our relationship. Even if we disagree amongst each other.
When Brandy and Monica reunited, it brought back a lot of excitement for the fans. However, their reunion was bittersweet because around this time, their mentor and biggest inspiration, Whitney Houston, passed away. Both Monica and Brandy had a very deep love for Whitney Houston. Whitney not only inspired them to sing, but she also became a personal friend to them both. Losing her was very difficult for them, but it made their bond stronger during that time. Unfortunately, Brandy and Monica's reunion was only short-lived. They were supposed to go on tour together, but they both were tied up doing other things. Monica was focused on her own album, New Life, and Brandy was focused on her album, 211, and her acting career. Everything seemed to be good between Monica and Brandy. However, their feud was reignited over social media when Brandy shaded Monica's So Gone challenge, Somebody asked Brandy, can you please do the Monica challenge? And she said, ciao, bye. Monica responded to Brandy's comment on the talk show The Real.
Now, you know, it wouldn't be The Real if we didn't ask you. How you feel about that?
I'll tell you the real, I'm not bothered at all.
The shade didn't stop there. When Monica did a tribute to Missy Elliott at the Hip Hop Honor Show, Brandy hinted that Monica was copying her. It was all very petty and kind of funny at the same time. Also, when Monica claimed that Whitney was her fairy godmother, Brandy had to let the world know that Whitney was her true fairy godmother. Even though the post was harmless, a lot of fans and trolls on social media started to drag Brandy. This prompted Brandy to tell Monica to check her fans on Instagram. Monica, however, paid the situation no mind. After that incident, Brandy was called out by Monica fans again when she said during her performance at the Essence Festival that The Boy Is Mine was her song. Monica, however, did not argue with that fact because technically it was her song.
He belongs to me, the boy, and the song is mine.
So I'm very fortunate that they brought me into it. I mean, it wasn't my song, it was hers.
It was her song and she put you on.
Brandy did briefly have her petty moments on social media, but she did pull back and she stopped responding to negative comments. Monica never bought into the negativity. She always praised Brandy in interviews because she still had a deep respect for her as an artist.
Like for me, Have You Ever is one of my favorite records of all time. But listening to her is super easy. She has one of the greatest voices of our time.
She really does.
And
I love Brandy.
And I always say that her tone is just immaculate.
Monica is definitely telling the truth about Brandy's singing voice. It's truly one of a kind. Both Brandy and Monica are great singers, and they're great in their own right. So there was never any need for them to be compared to each other. But I wanted to make a video about the history of their feud because Dallas Austin brought it up again, and I kind of wanted to put things into perspective. The feud itself was pretty much manufactured, and both Brandy and Monica bought into it. But the little petty drama they had does not take away from the great things they accomplished in their career, and it can never diminish how influential they have been on other artists in the music industry. It would be nice for them to collaborate again, but maybe we could hope for that sometime in the future. For now, they're just focusing on their careers and living their best life. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.